It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, September 19th. I am so sorry I'm delayed a little bit. We're, recording a little bit later than we normally do, not by much, but because I had to catch up on our full plate of TV last night. 3 hours of TV to watch for you all. I did it. I got it in. I got a lot of other stuff in. We've got a lot to talk about today. I am excited. I'm feeling renewed. I am feeling revitalized. And it's not just because of my Dame.com products. It's because of use code DailyDose30 for 30% off. It's because of the incredible TV we got last night. And I hope you guys are with me on this. We're going to talk all about both shows, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Golden Bachelorette. And if you are not watching these two shows, we may have a problem because my cup runneth over. We have so many good things to talk about. Everyone, thank you for saying hi. I see you in the comments. Make sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you're listening on the audio platform, thanks for hitting the follow button, leaving a 5-star rating and a review. I'm reading them. I see them. I appreciate you guys so much. Let's get into today's daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. If you guys are part here if you like the YouTube community, I know some people stick around on YouTube. Some people are audio listeners. It's actually interesting. I'm pretty neck and neck in terms of numbers between audio and video. I always find it interesting where you guys catch this show. But I did a members only yesterday afternoon. That was quite possibly the most unfiltered, unhinged live ever. And yes, we did talk all about vibrators, but we talked about so many other things that you guys have been asking me about. We talked about, gosh, I don't even want to get into it. Just letting you know it's there. The link to join and catch up on all our former members onlys it's below me. So it's in the show notes. So you can go there and join, and then you'll get notifications if we ever do a members only live. And it was really fun. A lot of you guys were there and we laughed our asses off. I mean, my ass is still here. Yep, it's still there. Last I checked, but I did laugh. What does that even mean? I laughed my ass off. Is that because you laugh so hard that you burn calories and you're burning calories so that your ass is What does that mean? Why can't I laugh my double chin off? If I'm going to laugh anything off, I'd like to laugh my upper arm flab. Can we laugh that off? I'm good with my butt. I like my butt. Do you guys like your butt? It's a good thing to like it. It's with you at all times. It provides a lot of comfort, a lot of cushioning if you do it right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I want to just get right into the stories. I feel like we should because we have to talk about so many different things. There's a bunch of you guys that are here for the first time on a live. I see Anka is here. Yard sale finally made a live, and someone else earlier. I don't want to miss it, but I'm so sorry. Oh, Susie Q. I see you guys so much. This meeting of Butt Lovers Anonymous is now in session. Mark Ward, you have the floor. BLA. I'm sure you've heard of other anonymous, Narcotic Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Butt Lovers Anonymous. We're not anonymous. We are loud and proud. I'm a butt lover. This is crazy. I don't mean to be so inappropriate, but one thing about you guys, I just love this comment. It says, I love my butt. One thing about you guys that you need to know about me, my lack of being able to filter my sexual innuendos and inappropriateness when it comes to comedy it's not here. I lost that gene. I never got that gene. In fact, I was born without the gene of knowing where the line is. I always cross that line. In fact, I have a group text with two guys that I know since I was in high school. We're all really close. We watched the Emmys together the other night. Both of their wives are adorable. They love my husband. Like, it's a really great group of guys. But the three of us, myself and Dave and Adam, have a text message, and the thread is called "A Line Has Been Crossed," because I literally do not know how to not cross that line, whether it's in a positive way or a negative way. It's just, um there's just no line. Like, it's an invisible line. Someone else that feels that way, I think, is Mary. And we'll get into that. Trina says last night was awesome. And when was the last time someone told you that, right? Last night was awesome. Okay, let's get into some of the stories. But because we're in this kind of category of talk, we have to talk about Dame. Yesterday on my uh, members only, we screen shared and looked at the Dame website. It's a ride. It is a ride. NSFW. You know what I mean? We saw pictures, we saw uh, devices, we saw drawings, there was blog entries on dame.com, but Dame is it was a female and couples pleasure headquarters. They've come up with tools basically between a sexologist and an engineer. And I'm telling you, if I'm going to ever be single again and I want to date someone, I hope to find a sexologist engineer match. I mean, what a great life, right? You're smart, but you're also wild. It just sounds amazing. D- uh this is all about sexual wellness. We all are talking about self-care. We talk about our hair, we talk about our skin, we talk about our butt. Self-care and self-wellness has a lot to do with also feeling good inside. And that is where Dame comes in, because they've made it their mission to help you explore and enjoy your pleasure, because hey, that's self-care too. And if Whitney from Mormon Wives can do this, if Whitney can do TikToks talking about vibrators, well, I am much more wild. Well, actually, no, I don't know about that because I've seen some of her TikToks, but I definitely am very open to conversations like this, because listen, it's 2024. And how nice is this that we can talk about this without getting canceled, without getting fired? I mean, I may get fired. Who's going to fire me? Me? I'm not firing me. I'm hiring. I'm promoting me for talking about sexual wellness. So Dame is on a mission to close that pleasure gap. Where are you, Andrew? And redefine sexual wellness by creating products that prioritize your pleasure and comfort. So we've talked about the calm, we've talked about the palm, but let's talk about what stumped us yesterday, and that's the Eva. Is it Ava or Eva? I guess it's whatever you want to talk about. Eva is the world's first hands-free couples vibrator. Yep, it isn't just for self-care, it's for both care. It nestles comfortably in place with flexible wings, leaving you hands-free for everything else. Perfect for enhancing partner play without getting in the way. Now, we did see a picture of this. It looks like a cross between it looks like a little mini alien. Just like a little. Anyway, go on to dame.com and use code dailydose30 for 30% off your order. And tomorrow we will conclude our week of Dame talking about Finn. Finn is the final vibrator that we're going to talk about tomorrow. So make sure to be back. Subscribe, turn your bell on. I wonder how many people liked my show until this week. I wonder how many people loved Daily Dose of Donna, and then now they were like, this has taken a new level. Like, I am uncomfortable and it makes me feel, wild. Oh my gosh, Lisa says last night made me purchase a new friend for the first time. See, I kind of feel, you guys, I'm doing a service for women around America. Maybe I should save this for our Patreon or members only, but there's a lot of, hormonal changes within us at this age. And I was listening to Bitch Sesh the other day, and Casey and Danielle, I was going to say the leaders of Bitch Sesh, the hosts of Bitch Sesh, they talk about that they both are going through all these changes and hormonal stuff. And so they both each individually, got some sort of pellet inserted into their butt. I mean, so much butt talk today. Got some pellet into their butt. And honestly, like they're saying it makes them amazing. It makes them feel good. It makes them have energy. It makes them feel, better all around and more driven. You know what I'm saying? And I told Lance about this over our martini on the weekend. And he said, "How much is it? Let's do it." I said, "Well, I don't think insurance covers it." He goes, "Doesn't matter. It's worth it." So what if it's $1,000 a month? He goes, "I think it's worth it." So in case you're wondering how important my drive is for my husband, it's highly important. Some people get diamonds, other people get pellets in their butt. Let's get into the show. Believe it or not, that's just general chatter. That's just the general chatter conversation. We have to talk about a few things. Number one, Jax Taylor can kiss my butt. Kiss my ass. You guys, I am not a fan. I don't know what to do. I cannot wrap my head around liking Jax Taylor. Show me a way to like Jax because I've yet to find it. I take my binoculars out every single day saying, "Jax, give me something." And he's trying everything. He is trying everything right now in his power to come off as this like really incredible um good guy, good, smart, wonderful, ex co-parent. Like he's all about that co-parenting thing. He really wants to like take it to a new level. And meanwhile, hold on one second. Hold on. I just want to find this. Meanwhile, um he posted, and I put it on my stories yesterday. He posted something where he is clearly like, I think there's a world where he's just trying really hard to get the world to think that like everything's good and great between them. Yesterday on his stories, he posted that he is going to a like a storage unit to pull Halloween decorations for Brittany. And then he posted this picture of like some sort of a lasagna casserole situation saying, "But I will always squeeze in a home cooked meal when I'm offered one. Thanks, Brittany," with a smiley face. So, like, what is he trying to do? Where, like, what's the goal here? Is he trying to be like, I am, you know, I am a good man and I've learned my lesson. I've struggled in the past, but now I am good. And I feel truly like, this is the best thing for us. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's absolutely okay and fine about the divorce. Truly, I do believe that I think he is completely happy and okay about getting divorced because I think that, um, hold on one second. I think what's happening is that he is feeling very like, I guess, um, I guess this is all he wanted ever. I don't think he wanted to be married to Brittany, is my gut feeling. My gut feeling is that I don't think he actually wanted to be in that marriage. I feel like he felt stuck. I don't think he really liked Brittany. I don't feel like he was very happy and fulfilled with Brittany. Did you guys get that feeling? I didn't get that feeling watching The Valley. I got the feeling that he was pretty over her. That's kind of what I got the feeling of. And if that's the case, then I guess, like, he just has to, move on and try to pretend that this is the best thing. I have a feeling Brittany is struggling. I have a feeling from what we've heard, Brittany is crying all the time. She's sad about it. And Jaxa seems totally okay. Oh, this is interesting. So Michelle says Brittany dropped off cruise and a casserole, so her child has a reasonable dinner that he will like and eat. The casserole was not for Jax. Interesting. Yeah, I find that interesting. I mean, he's playing this role of like everything's fine here. We're good. And like Brittany doesn't want anything to do with him because on his side, he's like, yeah, Brittany, we're co-parents. Like, it's all good. I'm helping her. I'm doing this. I'm eating her home cooked meals. And Brittany's like, I hope he gets his face out of my face. Remember over the weekend when someone said that it was her, a picture of her, and she was like, get him out of my face. So I think he's completely happy with the way things are working out. And he's hoping that this is like, now he can get laid. Now he can go off and do his own thing and so on and so forth. He's problematic for sure, a train wreck. You know who else is super problematic? And we talked about this, when we were talking about Secret Lives and Mormon Wives, and that is Jen and Zach Affleck. So I don't think I'll be really surprised if she comes back to the next season of the show. Jen Affleck, I don't think she's officially left the show, but I would be really, really surprised if she did come back because, hold on, I want to pull up her post that she posted yesterday. I think we have to read this together. Where is she? What's her Instagram name? Instagram is hard. I'm like having a hard time with finding people on Instagram. Do you ever have that where like you'll go through your search and you just cannot find people that you normally find? Like it just doesn't come up. Okay, Jennifer Affleck. Here we go. This is what she wrote. Let me share it. She says, we were just kids when we got married, young, naive, and inexperienced. We truly had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. Coming from completely different backgrounds, families, and upbringings, it didn't seem to make sense. We were polar opposites. How could we make this work? How could we see the same picture? We didn't always see eye to eye, and a lot of times we still don't. But that's what marriage is. We keep trying. I truly believe there were lessons we both needed to teach each other. When we were dating, Zach bought me his first laptop when he had $10 in his bank account. Well, so how did he buy it? He went into debt for you? When I shared my dream of running a marathon, he trained alongside me and ran it with me. I wonder why, Jen. Was it because he didn't trust you running alone? God knows who you're going to talk to. I told him I wanted to start my videography business, so he saved up money and bought me my first camera. When we were expecting our first baby, I wanted a place to call home, so he worked hard, saved up, and bought us our first house. He's buying you a lot. He gave me both stability and freedom, which allowed me to post videos online and launch my career on social media. This, in turn, allowed me to support him and our family while he's been in school. I couldn't have done it without Zach. Is Zach perfect? No. Does he have flaws that we've needed to address? Yes. But I can confidently say he's always supported and believed in me more than anyone else. We're still young. We have two precious babies, and we still have struggles like so many marriages. But do we love each other? Yes. It goes on and 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 on. And, oh my gosh, what are these crazy comments that are happening? But the point is, I get this feeling that from what I've heard, his parents, those like super blonde people, they were on the show during the baby naming or a couple other events. I have a feeling that his parents are so insanely controlling and angry with her. And just from the way she made it sound on the show, where she was like, my mom was a house cleaner at the hospital that Zach's dad worked at. There's clearly like a power dynamic issue. There's a hierarchy going on in that relationship. And she needs to, you know, bow down to him. Obviously, it's like that traditional Mormon style, but it sounds to me like this whole post is talking about how amazing he is because he bought things for her, which doesn't in any way negate anything that we've seen. Like, it's not about money. I don't think any of us cared that he didn't have enough money to put himself through medical school. I think what we cared about was how controlling and awful he was about her while he was sitting gambling away her money. There were so many signs that like didn't work, and so she's trying. I think she's backpedaling as strong and as possible. And yeah, his brother posted that he was really upset about Jen misrepresenting her family, and they're all really upset with Hulu. So I think she's going to have to choose: does she want her career and fame, or does she want to be married to this towhead? And the truth is, she's probably going to choose the latter. I think she's going to end up probably with Zach. I think she's like, I get the feeling that she's scared. I mean, you saw how upset she was the night in Vegas when he was texting her like crazy. And I get that. Like, if I was in a relationship if I was married to someone who was texting me those crazy ass things, like, I would be freaked out over it too, I think. But it was just there was no part of her that was saying like, "F you," "F you that you did that." Like, I don't know. It's interesting that she just took it and was crying and so scared instead of being like, "What the F is wrong with you? Like, you don't have the right to be so mad at me, and you need to shut the F up because remember I gave you $2,500 to sit at the table that you're sitting at until 2 a.m., you piece of S." That's what I wanted her to say, but, alas, things like that don't happen. Um, so we'll see if she comes back to the show next season. Other than that, I don't keep up with the Mormon wives. I follow them, but like I don't really see a lot. I don't really care a lot. I'm just if the show comes back, I'd be interested to see another season. But like I felt about the Mormon wives show, it was a good show. It was not in any way not even close. You can't even put it on the same level as like what we watched last night on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's a very produced, over-filtered, very pretty type of show. Yes, did they, give us some crazy dirt right off the bat with the Tinder and him being, the supposedly straight husband of Whitney, like doing things? Yes, sure. But at the same time, I didn't find it compelling like everyone else. Like everyone else is so obsessed. I was just like, it was okay. I will say that we do and should talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let's get into it right now. So, first of all, did you guys notice? I won't bring that up. I won't get into the show yet, but did you notice the crossover promo of Sold on SLC? I had never even heard of this show before. Did anyone like, was this a show that we were all talking about, Sold on SLC? They promoted it in a very interesting way. Lisa Barlow had this party, we'll get into it in a second, and one of the girls at the party was mic'd, and Lisa was like, "See what I'm going through, whatever," and then she's like, "You're gonna understand." She said something, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it was a trailer not a trailer, but like a promo for the Salt Lake City-based real estate series Sold on SLC. It says, "Just wait until you see what my realtors bring to the table." Presidio Real Estate CEO Jennifer Yeo or Yeo, Yeo, warns. Um, it was announced yesterday, and the teaser aired during the season 5 premiere of Salt Lake City. Oh, that was the girl Jennifer was the girl that was announced in that episode. Lisa said, "Hi, baby gorgeous. Did you think SLC had enough drama with the housewives?" And then the video cut to, yeah, there's a lot of interesting things about this. So this is the cast, I guess. Tina Edwards, Malaysia Fua, Matt Jones, Sarah Martindale, and Kenny Sperry. Don't miss Sold on SLC. We have no idea when it's going to air. But it's Shed Media, which we've known for a lot of these different shows. I will tell you something, I didn't like the way that it was introduced because it took me out of the fact that we're watching a TV show and put me into the idea that this is, like, all fake. To say, like, "Did you think you were gonna get more drama with the housewives?" And then, all of a sudden, we're in a trailer. It was giving the, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to Vanderpump Rules kind of crossover event, but like a more produced version of it. Almost like the VPR to the Valley crossover, which I hated when Jax like got up from one chair and went to another. I really truly believe that it would have been better had it just been on the same show. Wait, Andrew, was this Jennifer, the one that was having the conversation with Mary about her purse? Now I need to look. Um, okay, let's get into Salt Lake City. It was quite the no, it was a different girl. It was quite the most like to me, it was one of the best episodes of TV. It was so good and so compelling. It was so pretty. These girls are dressed to the nines. They are made up to the nines. They are pulled, they are filled, they are skinny, they are shot up. I mean, these girls are an extreme version of what we saw season 1 of Salt Lake City. Like, if we thought they looked fake season 1, it's wild. But the whole premise of this first episode is that Lisa's having this party called Bezos. It's so Lisa to be like, "I heard a word called Bezos, and I just thought it sounded like Bezos, and I know it's about kisses, and I think it's like it sounds rich. So, let's have a party called Bezos, like, because I love them." Yeah. She rented out the most gorgeous, like, mountaintop outdoor area and an indoor kind of big warehouse space. It's clearly where they hold a lot of weddings, etcetera. And she had a big signage. There was Vita, there was Bezos, there was this and that. And so the show starts off with her walking into the party with her um, sister-in-law, something along those lines, kind of showing around. This is just a girls only Galentine's event. And so everyone, of course, is dressed in red and white, very kissy, very heart coded. And they do some crazy, crazy editing. There's a lot of back flashbacks. There's a lot of flash forwards. It feels very like, are we watching Clue? What is happening? It's like a mystery. Now, whoever edits Real Housewives of Salt Lake City does a phenomenal job. A phenomenal job. It's a show like, I mean, we saw it last season. It's a show that is done so incredibly well with the music, with the drama, with the clothing, and they did this whole the beginning part was like the craft, right? It was so witchery where all the women are standing around in a circle and looking up. I mean, it's beautifully done. They need to, work alongside some other shows, I will say, to kind of help. Like, for example, Potomac. I remember Potomac last season did some of the worst editing I've ever seen. The editors on the show are phenomenal. And the production value, it just feels upper echelon. It feels like very pretty. So, of course, we find out that Whitney and Lisa are in a tizzy because of freaking Nick Viall. Can we not talk about Nick Viall on any episode of Real Housewives? Like, is Nick Viall a character on Bravo shows now? Because he's all up in all of these shows. We always talk about it. So, Nick Viall, I guess, had Whitney on his show, and one line that she said was that Lisa Barlow is the villain. She's the villain of the show. And Lisa was not okay with it. And for some reason, Lisa harped on this one comment so strongly, which is so interesting because it's like they're all saying shit about each other. But for some reason, Whitney is really, really, I mean, Lisa is really hell bent on hating Whitney for this line, for the fact that she said Lisa is the villain. I I think it's a little over the top. It's a little of an over dramatic reaction, but Whitney is clearly on everyone's shit list this season. I don't know what's going on. Meredith can't stand her because earlier we also see another scene 2 weeks ago where Heather Gay, who looks like a version of herself, Heather Gay looks like, you know how there's filters on Snapchat or on, TikTok where it's like, if I looked like a Barbie, and then you see a picture of you and then it kind of like just slides over and then all of a sudden you look like this perfect person. Heather Gay is that in real life. Whatever she's gotten done, which I think is everything head to toe. I think it's the Ozempic. I think it's the fillers, the this, the that, the that. I mean, she owns Beauty Lab and Laser. She looks so good. It's pretty crazy. Really. I mean, if you compare her to season 1, she's a quarter of her size, pulled cheekbones. She looks good. I mean, we all know it's not real, but she looks good. She doesn't look how God intended her to look. That's one thing we can always say about all these people. So, we do find out earlier in the scene or in the episode that Meredith is very upset with Whitney as well because of the bombs. Yep, not the bombs like boom boom bombs, like the bath bombs. And this also is such a Meredith moment. Meredith picks and chooses things so strangely and so randomly to be upset about. Last season, it was about the bathtub. And this season, she is like all in and so angry at Whitney because Whitney has developed a bath line. And it's an attack on me, she says, because Whitney developing a bath line in addition to her 47 businesses. Like Whitney for sure also probably sells, beauty counter. Whitney is probably has 7 MLMs in her back pocket. She's like part of the new Oliveda or whatever those businesses are that are all over social media now. Like she definitely sold Saint. I mean, Whitney is a trip. But anyway, so she is also on Meredith's shit list. So everyone hates Whitney. Now, people are starting to arrive at the party. Meredith shows up looking phenomenal. We have, I wanted to learn more about Meredith's friend. Did you guys see Meredith's friend? Meredith walks into the party with a woman who has a prosthetic leg, not even a prosthetic leg. She's on I don't even know what it's called, like a rod, basically. So she clearly is missing a leg and she's walking in with a rod. And I was like, this is phenomenal that they're showing this on Real Houses of Salt Lake City, not as like, oh, we went to the hospital to visit these poor people. It's more, she's one of us. She's a friend of ours. We didn't even get to meet her though. I was like, tell me about her. I want to learn about her. Now, Angie K, who, in my opinion, has become like the star of this show. Angie shows up. I hope you're joking, Andrew, but he says Whitney will be live on TikTok Shop tonight. She's not even doing Amazon Live. She's doing TikTok Shop. She's doing ASMR videos. So Angie shows up with her new best friend, Mary. Angie and Mary have become best friends. Now, have you guys ever met a person better than Mary? I'll wait. I have yet to meet a funnier housewife than Mary. And when I say funny, it's not slapstick comedy. It's legit. Everything that comes out of her mouth is actually LOL, laugh out loud, hysterical. I love having her on my screen and she needs to be there. So for anyone that doesn't like Mary because she's a problematic woman that runs a cult, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So Angie shows up with Mary. They're best friends and they only became friends. Like they didn't like each other last season. But then all of a sudden, Angie told Mary at the reunion, you have a little lipstick on your teeth. And Mary's like, yeah, I like Angie. That's it. That's all it takes. I've known people like this. Those people that are so hard to get in with, no one likes, but then when they like you do feel special. You're like, wow, she hates everyone that she meets, but she likes me. Well, they've spent time together. They went to Kathy Hilton's Christmas party. What would you do if you were at Kathy Hilton's Christmas party and then all of a sudden there's Mary and Angie K together? I would have died over that. So they have so much fun. They have a great time. Josh, I'm dying over this. I'm dying with Mark saying I have a scroll noting all the things that Donna has done wrong. Yes, because another thing is that in addition to all of this, Meredith is also she wants an apology from Angie. She feels like she didn't get an apology from a lot of the girls last year. They referenced the reunion multiple times in the show. They referenced how certain things weren't discussed in the reunion. Like Meredith felt like her stories just completely got overlooked. That was a little breaking fourth wall, right? Because we focus so much on Monica Garcia. And then later it comes up also where Heather feels like we didn't get to discuss certain things at the reunion. So I thought that was an interesting kind of like twist. Then we have Angie showing up to this party and she goes and talks to Meredith and she says, Meredith, I heard you thought that I owed you an apology. So I just wanted to write everything that I feel like you owe me an apology for. And no joke, straight out of a freaking book. This is a movie. This is not a real show. This is a movie. Angie drops a scroll. And when I say it's a scroll, I mean it is a for real scroll, which now we understand why Meredith said yesterday on her Twitter, the only scroll I read is the Torah. But it's a scroll of everything that went wrong. I want to see that scroll. I want that scroll up in the Bravo Clubhouse. That scroll better be framed. I need to see what's on it. Right? I mean, it was amazing. Lisa Barlow is still kind of walking around and chatting with everyone and meeting everyone. And then her other friend, this new girl, Bronwyn, walks in. Now, Bronwyn walks in with a heart. And when I tell you she's wearing a heart, she's literally wearing a fur heart. I think this Bronwyn woman is so extra and so over the top. For example, they show a scene earlier where she gets together with Lisa and it's snowing, it's cold out, 30 some degrees, and she's walking through Salt Lake City in little, I love how Angie called them boy shorts. They're not boy shorts, they're underwear. She was literally walking in with like underwear, a crop top sports bra, and a jacket. And this is how she walks through a snowy city. She walks into the party with the CVS heart. That's so funny. I saw that on Drunk John. And she's a trip. She's 38, allegedly. She's married to a 65-year-old. There's a lot of years, 27 years apart. Or 26, I can't remember. She has a teenage daughter who's Jack's age. Jack. I think Jack was Fudge College, right? And I will say she's going to be snooty. She's going to be snobby. I hope she's good TV, and I hope she goes head to head with someone like Mary. Now, in this scene, she ends up having a conversation with Mary at this party during cocktail hour. They in fact they have a nice little conversation until while they are talking, this new girl, Brittany, I want to say is, who was just dating Donnie and Marie Osmond's family member, who apparently is like dating Elvis or the president or something in Salt Lake City. She comes into the she comes into the party and she says that she was dating him, but now, she's done with him. And I don't really understand really her story yet. But she sits down and she tries to connect with Marion Bronwyn. And the first thing she does was the reason for the title of the episode, which was called Couture, Not Costume. She looks at Bronwyn. She goes, I love your costume. Now, let me tell you something. I don't think Bronwyn was able to get over that. I think Bronwyn was so incredibly shocked and in awe and offended over that conversation. I think that took Bronwyn to a level of like anger to she couldn't get over it. Did you guys notice it? She was like, I'm sorry. It's not a costume. There's 3 in the world, okay? It's me. It's on this person, Rihanna. Rihanna, me, and it's in the museum in the Louvre or whatever. How did Bronwyn get this jacket? Like, okay, you may have a lot of money. I have a feeling her husband is loaded, but like, really? How did she get that jacket if it's just Rihanna, her in a museum? By money. Okay, she's not special. She just paid a lot of money. The fact is that she got called a costume, and that to me, and then, Mary was also going after her. Mary goes, costume. I mean, you look like a what did you say? Like, you look like a golden retriever with your shaggy jacket. She's so mean. Mary is so mean, and yet I have no interest in ever not seeing her on my screen. As long as she doesn't come after me. If Mary didn't like me, I'd be very concerned. But she's so funny on that show. They talked about when, like, there was a big miscommunication where I think Brittany was just trying to relate, and she was like, "Yeah, well, I grew up poor," and Mary's like, "I didn't grow up poor." She goes, "Well, I was stealing bread and putting it in my purse," and Mary's like, "I didn't do that. That's weird. Why would you put bread in your purse? I don't put food in my purse." And she was like, "Well, I did," and she goes, "I don't want her putting bread in my purse." Oh my gosh, and she goes, "I don't even think she was young doing that." She said she looked like a German Shepherd. I don't even think she was young doing that. Young girls don't wear purses. Oh my God, I cried. I cried. Then the real drama starts when Whitney and her healing journey walk up the hill, and Whitney basically says, "My businesses are doing so well. Everything is going so great. The only thing that is not going great is friendships." She comes to the party again. Whitney's face is frozen. She has absolutely no facial expression. And these women are truly made of stone, because if any of these women yelled at me, I would start to cry within 1 second. I don't know how they can do it. They're sitting here at this dinner, and they're kind of all the housewives girls are kind of across from each other. And Angie and Meredith start getting into it from like kind of 3 chairs down. Angie's like, "Why don't you go talk about my house? You should." I mean, none of them have any intonation in their like ability to speak, right? Like it's all very flat. This is something Salt Lake City is filled with mountains, but our voices are very flat. Angie's like, I don't want you to ever come after my house again. I don't think that you should ever. You rent. You're a renter. Then Meredith goes after her. And Bronwyn decides, I've just come in with a heart on my sleeve, but I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to 100% try to, you know, break up this fight. So let's stop talking about it. Okay, starting now. And then Angie's like, and you rent, and starting now, and you, and now, and that let's start now. And the editing was so fucking phenomenal. And I don't know if this was really what went down in that moment, but like it was so good. The more that Angie spoke, Bronwyn kept saying, and now we'll stop, and now we'll stop, and now we'll stop. I mean, it was just phenomenal. So it's getting heightened. It's getting heightened. And then Whitney starts talking to Lisa. And Whitney says something to Lisa about the villain comment. So you're mad at me because I called you a villain, and that podcast is 2 hours long. We only talked about you for 1 minute, Lisa. And Lisa was like, no, no, no. You talked about it. And who told her about my conversation? Lisa was getting pissed. Someone told Whitney about their conversation, and everyone thought for sure it had to have been Heather because Lisa only told Heather and Angie. But Heather was like, I never talked to Whitney about this. And Angie was like, well, I kind of talked to her, but like not the whole conversation. Like I left out when we talked about coffee, but like I did kind of tell her everything. And so yes, Angie was the missing link. Angie told Whitney that Lisa was pissed off at Whitney, and for whatever reason, Lisa got so mad. Lisa was getting so heightened and so angry at Whitney. You're a liar. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. And then Heather over here all of a sudden says, because Whitney goes, I am not a liar. And Heather goes, yes, you are. And they start naming things. It's like, name them. Meredith's going off about how Whitney has lied. Heather is going off about how Whitney has lied. Lisa is like, yeah, that's it. Because I don't think Lisa could remember any stories. It felt to me like she was just getting more and more heated. Now Lisa's standing up. She's sitting down. This is her own party. It's called Bezos. Like, have some class, Lisa Barlow. She's getting pissed. Whitney's not standing up. She's like, okay, guys, calm down. And Angie's like, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's just a lot. And Whitney is like, oh my gosh, guys, calm. Like, let's just calm down, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Lisa, out of nowhere, I need to make some splash. She goes with her white espresso martini, like, she throws it across the room. And I'm done with this. And the musicians in the background, there's 2 musicians, okay? Like on a banjo, maybe like a little snare drum. And they sit there and they go, uh, uh, so, um, yeah, like it's so uncomfortable. You know, there's no music on at these events other than those live music things, so it's quiet. And Lisa's yelling, and Whitney's like, you know what? I am on my healing journey, and you know how I'm gonna show you is like this. F you, Lisa Barlow. Get out of my party. You get out. Get out of my party. And can you get me a Diet Coke on your way? Thanks. Get out. Lisa. So Whitney runs out and leaves. And Heather's like, and Angie goes after her. And Heather's like, oh, I thought Angie was my girl. And that's pretty much how that episode ended. It was phenomenal TV. It was a wonderful opening episode to what looks like an amazing season. Absolutely good TV, a must watch. Let's skip on over to wholesome and good TV, the Golden Bachelorette. And I'm not going to go into super detail because this is the part where, Golden Bachelorette, on this moment, we're just meeting the bachelors. So I don't want to go into super detail until we really get to know everyone, but I have a couple of thoughts. Number one, I cried over Joan's story. I love Joan Vassos. What a catch for this show. She's beautiful. She's 61, I believe. She looks great. She seems like a great woman. She had a very sad story with her husband, and her whole story about how her husband died um of pancreatic cancer, and she was like, "I was, like, living in a dream. I thought he was fine. I was not actually aware that he was gonna die, like, I didn't wanna believe that until the day he died." It was so sad to actually watch that and just like those beginning scenes, so I'm already crying. Then, now it's like, "Change of music, we're happy, we're on the Golden Bachelorette." She gets to the mansion, she's like, it's a dream," the mansion driveway is nice and glisten, there's water everywhere. I do think that Gary was there. He was a maintenance man at a nursing home, we came to find out, or at some sort of rehab center or something. So I think it's possible that Gary was the guy responsible for watering down that driveway. Gary is going to find his way back onto that show if he has to sign up as staff, if he has to be crew, he can be a grip, maybe a PA. He is there because Gary's like, "Oh, I can't believe I ruined." Now seeing all these 25 handsome, eligible men, I'm like, Gary, that's who they ended up with. Gary. Like, I feel like Gary to me was such a loser from the beginning. Remember, he was like, "My golly, this is wonderful." Now, Joan, on the other hand, she's hot to trot. She's looking great. So, she has the conversation with Jesse, the host of the show. He's like, "Are you ready, Joan? Here's the first limo. Let's go." Now, this is when everyone starts to walk out of the limo and there's such shtick. And I need to know, do producers, I'm going to ask Lance, do producers actually have conversations with these Golden Bachelor people and say, like, "Okay, what do you really love to do? What's a special skill? What's a talent? And how can you walk out of the limo and do it?" And then the guys that walk out of the limo just as themselves, just in their suit, standing up and just walking over and saying hi, do they just not have special skills? Like, how does that work? So, how does that work about like who gets like the special kind of, like, why does someone get a horse and someone get a station wagon and someone come out in a navy suit and another guy comes out pretending he's about to fall over and then starts doing one-armed push-ups, whereas other guys come out like just like, "Hi, I'm Jack." I think it's so interesting. Um, so Oh, Mark, I see what you're seeing in the comments, and I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry that I'm not, like, able to be part of that, but I'm sending love. Okay, so okay, I will say right now there's some standouts. We saw a very, very handsome, very seemingly good-looking, good guy, Pascal. He's a Frenchman. He's French, and he owns hair salons, and I think I have to do a French. I think he has a very, I have to do my French. I have to learn. I'm gonna go back to school about this. Uh, I I think he's rich. I think he's rich, 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 rich. That's the vibe I got about Pascal. We had a Navy guy. We had such sweet men. We had a caterer. We had a guy that sang to her. We had all these we had someone that made her soup. I mean, it was really, really sweet. Oh my God, Jen knows Pascal and goes to his salon. Jen, we're gonna have to find out more about Pascal, especially because I have a good feeling about him. There was a couple that I have a really good feeling about, but the final limo that comes out, Jesse is like, "Joan, how you doing?" Joan's like, "I feel like the luckiest woman in the world," and he goes, "We have one more special limo, Joan. Here it is." The limo pulls up and a girl gets out. And the three men that are standing there like creepers watching the entire thing, I'm surprised Gary wasn't there, look over and say, "Is that a girl?" When I tell you, was that a joke? Because this girl was a stunning, beautiful girl. She's actually the fiance of Joey, the bachelor. I forget her name. She's actually the fiance of Joey. She comes out and she goes, "I have done this, obviously. And when I did the show, I thought to myself, my dad." And sure enough, we get to meet her dad, who seemed wonderful. So many of these people talking about their daughters and their kids and their wives being, either by like, some of them lost their wives to cancer, some of them addiction, like really just sad stories. There's so many emotional moments. But, then they started doing their cocktail hour. And when I say hour, I think it's 9 hours long. I'm not joking. Think about how much content they have to get between. There's a pickleball moment. There's like, they're dressed up in a certain way. Then they do a cooking segment. There's like so many different um themes for these dates. Each one of those dates is at least 30 minutes, has to be by the time you set it up and talk and whatever. That's why by the time they do their rose ceremony, the sun is coming up. This show, this first rose is like a 10 to 12-hour experience. It's crazy. So, they're all having a fun time, and she ends up giving a first impression rose to one of the guys. And then she sits there with all of the men, and they pull out a TV. And this was such a sweet moment. And they didn't do this on Golden Bachelor, but they pull out a TV of all of the different bachelorette contestants, men, having someone of their life. So whether it's their daughter, their son, their grandson, their mother, do a little video and says, Dad, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait for you to do this. And like the men's reactions, I really needed that. Like, thanks, son. We saw such lovely families. I'm like, I love these guys. So Joan eventually decides that she has to, give out the roses and leave 3 guys behind, or 2 guys, I think she sends home. I can't remember specifically. But that's okay because we don't need to get to know them. And she ends up picking the one. She said it's really hard. The guys are so sweet. But my favorite was Charles. And we need to talk about Charles for just a second. Charles L. Charles L is the sweetest, most adorable Asian man. I wanted to hug him. He comes in, he's like, he has an accent. Oh, Joan, oh my gosh, hi, nice to meet you. And he walks into the kitchen throughout the night and he's like, well, this is a nice pan. Oh, look at this fridge. They do a whole segment of Charles looking at the fridge. Wow, this is a big fridge. Oh, I think we can, there's a lot of meat. I think we can make a nice little dinner here. This is a perfect place to fall in love with Joan. I am like, I love him. He's talked about his wife of 36 years. He talked about the fact that he has these 2 daughters. He got emotional. Oh my God. If she doesn't choose Charles, Charles needs to come and be the co-host on Daily Dose of Donna. Like, find Charles love. I have a feeling she probably won't find Charles. Choose Charles. I don't see the chemistry, but I do think that they found such a winner with Charles. He was so damn cute. God, I love Charles. So watch that show if you want to warm up your cold, cold hearts, especially because it's going to be on the same night as Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You go to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which is like cold, bitchy, mean, conniving, snakes. And then you switch on over to love, to love. And you know what? I don't care, that they're older, whatever. I relate more to the Golden Bachelor and Bachelorettes than I relate to anything I do in my own, like in the younger sense. I watch Love Island, Love is Blind, just to feel young again. But I don't connect with those 22-year-old dental hygienist assistants. They're always like, aren't they all pharmaceutical reps? I connect with those. I connect with the Goldens. I am golden at heart. But I'm going to get one of those butt pellets, which all of you guys are telling me to do. I'm going to get one of those butt pellets and you guys are going to see me. I'm going to be dancing, Daily Joseph dancing over here. All right, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for subscribing. I will see you tomorrow for a Friday episode of Daily Dose of Donna. Bye, you guys.